So this was some things that came out recently about Ochocinco, Chad Ochocinco, receiver that used to play for the Cincinnati Bengals. That's now on nightcap with Shannon Sharp. Camron that came out and responded recently talking about Chad was hating on the show and everything else. And I don't know if he's playing into a role or whatever, but um, it's kind of a lot of people not really liking the role that he's playing as far as with this podcast and everything because every other day he's beefing with somebody. Which I told people a long time ago, that's the thing that he's been doing for years and that a lot of people haven't noticed, but it's a lot of guys, certain people that beef with people over and over. That's kind of how their career goes. They start friction with a lot of people and, back and forth. Camron's one of those guys, he'll come out and comment on certain things that's going on in the public, but then he'll have certain issues with certain people. And I don't know, for some reason he was going at Chad Ochocinco because Chad Ochocinco was saying stuff about getting enlargement surgery on his self as far as his manhood, and Camron just felt like he wanted to comment on just the whole situation and Ochocinco as a person. A lot of people were like, man, he just trolling, he just, that's how he is. He doing everything. They were like, why Camron taking this so serious? And I don't know, from what I've seen, I said, seems like Camron, he beefs with some guys that's competition, I guess, over the years. That's what I've always felt like. He don't usually go back and forth with people unless they competition. If he don't feel like you competition, he's not gonna go back and forth with you. If you like a no name and you're not really known and stuff like that, he's not gonna go back and forth with you because he's not gonna give you no kind of publicity like that. He's not that dumb. He's not gonna give you no clout. But if you're a guy who's on top and you got something going on, yeah, he definitely gonna pick you apart and bring your name up or whatever. Especially if you're in the news, and which Chad Ochocinco was, and he was just saying how he wanted to take his spot and everything else and compete with him, and they called him out when he first started the show, and a lot of people were just thinking that Camron was taking it too serious or whatever. I don't know, maybe it was, maybe it wasn't. I don't know what their relationship was. But what I do know is he's always beefing with somebody. You know what I'm saying? It's just like they just keep looking past it. Like, well, it's certain people that they don't let beef though. I just noticed that. Like, it's certain people y'all don't let go back and forth with other celebrities. Y'all always feel like, and when people was going back and forth with Drake all these years, when Soulja Boy was one of the first people that called out Drake, I remember people was like, oh, yeah, laughing at him. So usually, I remember a lot of people was the first person to call out Drake. And people was like, oh, they just hating. Now everybody calling out Drake. You know what I'm saying? So this not just a one-sided thing to where, this Camron situation where people will say, like Jim Jones recently, they was talking about how Jim Jones always was hating on Camron, this and this. Okay, this ain't got nothing to do with Jim Jones. Now people taking up for Chad. They like, man, Camron taking this too serious. Bro, a lot of these dudes be taking these beef stuff way too serious. Like, they be thinking they could just beef with anybody, or they should or could. Have no reason to why they really beef behind people. It makes you look at their rap beefs like, bro, the rap beef you had wasn't even as serious as you try to make it. I can kind of tell now because the way you handling this regular beef, that's not even a real beef, that shouldn't be a beef. It's like you just coming up with stuff out of thin air. And it just makes you realize what I be saying about certain beefs, man. These rappers don't really be beefing about nothing. They be about some territorial, I feel like you trying to get in my lane type stuff. It don't really be nothing like a huge serious deal about nothing.